Hello, welcome to Weekly Geek Speak. It's episode 91. I'm Andrew.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Steve.
And you can find us on weeklygeekspeak.com, on Twitter at Weekly Geek Speak, and Facebook, Weekly Geek Speak. Just give us a search. And also, if you enjoy our show, you can subscribe on iTunes. You can also find us on Spreaker, Stitcher, and Podcastland. And also, YouTube. If you search us, we've got a YouTube channel. And there's some news to break. News. Oh. Exciting news. First of all...
Do I know it?
I hope so.
Oh, good. I don't want to be surprised.
We are going to be holding a little event in Sheffield at the Green Room on Devonshire Green. So if you are a listener from Sheffield and are free on a Tuesday evening on the 3rd of March, come along down, 7:30. We'll be showing Masters of the Universe. So you can have a pint, watch a great film, and we'll be talking about it on the following week. And also, what more do you want from a movie than a greased-up Dolph Lundgren?
Orca. He's not in it.
He wasn't.
It's bullshit.
It wasn't. There's a little creature, though, isn't there?
There's a little... Yeah,
Giggling
chicken.
Yeah,
there's a little Orca substitute that I don't agree with.
And they're all, like, aghast because he realises it's chicken, isn't
and
it?
Skeletor should have been more like, He-Man! But it didn't quite happen.
I thought, it's been that long.
I haven't seen it.
I was going to say it was alright, but then I actually thought, how long ago was it I watched it? And it was VHS era, so quite a long time ago.
Courtney Cox's best film. It's just science.
Yeah.
It's just science.
How much has she got in a
She's got
Scream, actually.
Which everyone will be shouting at me now.
Yeah.
You're just wrong, aren't you?
Yeah. Masters of the Universe, 3rd of March at the Green Room in Sheffield. Do come along. We'll be splurging over our social medias. Also, coming up in the show, we have an interview with We Might Be Superhero stars Rika Diacampo and Alex Covington. Notice I tripped up on Covington and not Diacampo.
Because you were probably more aware of doing that properly. Mm-hmm. I do that all the time.
We'll be talking with Rika Diacampo and Alex Covington, who are Hope and Faith in the YouTube web series. Great talking to those guys. You can hear them later on the show. And Steve will be bringing his news as well for us to chat over, and we know there's some big stuff coming. But first of all, we're going to play our game. It's called Recommend Decommend. Steve,
can you not do that ever again, please?
I
you looked at me with like headmaster stare over your glasses.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Scott,
no.
Can you?
No, it takes me back.
The headphones.
No.
Can you?
I don't want to do it. Ask one of the other kids.
No, Scott, stop messing around. Stand up.
But
stand up.
Fine.
Right. Can you tell the listeners what Recommend Decommend is for anyone who's new?
It's a fortnightly catch-up game we play where we all vie to recommend the best film we've seen in the meanwhile, and we vote on which one's the best, and we do the same for Decommend, which is a word we completely made up and no one's ever called us on. It's weird, isn't it?
It's good.
Where we do the same for the bad ones, and we call it Recommend Decommend.
They don't pull us up on it because it's just the perfect word for the...
It's so good a word, it feels real.
Yeah.
The best words do like flongly whip.
Dangle hock or whatever it was.
No, that's made up.
Huh? So yeah, well that's Recommend Decommend, and we might as well start with you, Scott. Your hair is, I think, through stress, it's upwards, but it actually looks really cool, like you're a punk.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And I've also got like the biggest beard I've ever had. It's because I'm completely mentally deteriorating, but I'll probably never look better.
You look great.
Let's see. What, the best film?
Yes. We've done it 37 times.
I forget. I guess, seeing as I'm staring at 4 films and pretending it's difficult, it's What We Do in the Shadows. Which
It's had a lot of love from us.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Why is it the best?
So I gave in. I might have had it a touch oversold. But it's a very dry vampire parody mockumentary of from the Flight of the Conchords guys, and it just had a lot of titters in there. I thought it was just very funny, knowing comedy, and just very watchable. It's a search for a sort of cultish comedy that many were going to love, and I really liked it.
Well, that's great. A good first entry. We know there's love in the room for it, and I'll be choosing next. And I could bring you one of my favourite Coen Brothers films. I could bring you one of my favourite Scorsese films, and I could even bring you one of my favourite films of all time. But I'm not going to do that because
Why would you?
Why would I? Because I think everyone's seen those. I don't want to bring them. I want to bring something truly to recommend. Something that not many people will have seen, but completely should have seen. And today I'm bringing the sequel to The Swamp Thing, Return of Swamp Thing.
I haven't seen the original.
Have you not?
It's the one comic book film I've never seen.
Have you seen Return of?
It's one of the 2 comic book films I've never seen.
Return of Swamp Thing is truly brilliant. Bit of trashy cinema.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's almost, we decided, softcore porn acting throughout, with these creatures which have been bred so they're kind of like half human, half creature, much like The Fly, but it's a bit too gross for what the rest of the film is, which is quite a throwaway. Put it this way, at any minute Hulk Hogan could run in and it would not be like out of the ordinary, because it's that kind of film. Swamp Thing's amazing. He's such a great guy, you know. He's a guy who you would want to save. Over a lot of DC superheroes, I'd go Swamp Thing after that.
I've read a lot of the new 52 Swamp Things, and they're really good. It sounds like a bit of a departure there.
It is. It's very silly, trash, badly acted, you could say, but I think brilliantly acted. Stupid film, which is so entertaining throughout. In fact, my Decommend is a similar kind of film, which again, like I brought with Wolf Cop and Some Beavers, this one seemed to hit the mark because it knew what it was and it was silly throughout, and some great moments. There's a little fat kid in it who is just brilliant. I've never enjoyed watching a child in cinema before, because he's got the greatest lines, he's got the funniest voice, he's a little weirdo. It's fantastic, you know? That's what you want, and that's what late 80s and early 90s cinemas brought. Weird children to the fold. Well, so there we are. That's
everyone knows that.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely really funny film, which everyone should see. And if you are a comic book fan, it is something you will have never seen in a comic book movie, I think, and I certainly enjoyed it. So that's my recommend. Quite simply, Return of Swamp Thing. Steve.
My recommend is going to be choice of 2. It's going to be Horns. It's going to be my recommend. Yeah,
Horns.
The Daniel Radcliffe film. Basically, the death of his girlfriend, and he wakes up one morning. This is the plot summary. It's in the first 2 seconds.
I wanted him to have a girlfriend.
How?
Now I know he doesn't. And I'm less likely to see it now, maybe.
Fair enough.
No, I'm joking.
So, yeah, the death of his girlfriend, and he wakes up one morning, obviously upset, but finds that he's sprouting horns from his head, and he's got no idea why. So it's basically his...
Did Harry eat the hoggleweed and turn him into a mooey moo man cham pam cow?
I'm not giving any spoilers away.
Oh. All right.
So maybe he does. No, but it's basically his tale of him
Does he have a tail
trying
as
to
well?
work out... No, just horns. Trying to work out why he's got these horns and how it's affecting him. And it turns out he can sort of affect people around him. And as he gradually learns all these different things about himself...
Almost like it's magic.
Yeah, it's very good. But Daniel Radcliffe is incredibly good in it. And the film is sort of a lot of different genres pushed into one. And it follows a very good, very nice narrative. The ending, interesting. But it's well worth a watch. And I wasn't sure how to feel because it was a very strange film. But 2 or 3 days later, I was still thinking about it. And now, a week and a half later, I'm still thinking about it.
Well...
I think it's stuck with me, so I think
it's 2 years
recommend.
since I last watched Spring Breakers, and
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about it. But I don't like it.
Yeah, so it's a.
So I don't think that's necessarily.
No, it's not necessarily, but I thought, did I enjoy that? And hindsight, yeah, it was really good, and I would recommend seeing it.
Cool.
Yep.
So we've got What We Do in the Shadows, Return of Swamp Thing, and Horns, which leaves Scott to vote for Return of Swamp Thing or Horns for the first voting of the round.
I was very close to seeing Horns, and then I didn't, and that's my story. That's the title of my autobiography. It's coming out in June. I reckon it's probably quite an alright watch. Maybe I'll get round to it, maybe I won't, maybe I'll get run over. Life's wonderful tapestry, I don't know. But Return of Swamp Thing, like I alluded to earlier, is one of the 2 comic book films, especially like directly character based in sort of a superhero universe, that I've not seen. And I've been meaning to remedy that for years and just haven't got around to it. But I know for a fact I will, and all the more so now that at least one sounds incredibly enjoyable. So,
I really want to see the first one now. I haven't seen the first one. I went straight into the sequel. A little bit stolen off Avatar-y. I think there's a bit where he woos. Is it Heather Lock? What's she called?
Heather Lockley.
Heather Lockley. She remarkably quickly falls in love with him. To the point of, oh, you saved me. Oh, you're not weird at all. I love you. That's pretty much how quickly she fell in love with him. So to make love, he gives her a flower that she eats.
Yeah, that's what he does in the comic.
And it's
to experience utter pleasure.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Which is a nice, soft focus sequence after that, as you'd expect. And that's what they do in Avatar, except they don't. They just shove their tails together and dock. But yeah, so you're all voting Return of Swamp Thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I vote next. What We Do in the Shadows and Horns. This is a hard one for me because I think we've given a lot of love to What We Do in the Shadows, but I've got no interest in Horns. From when I saw the poster and everything, Harry Potter and Grandpa's Hornswoggle, it didn't get me, you know. So
I'd only seen the poster, so I'd not even seen a trailer. It's part Stand By Me, part sort of touches on lots of little.
What's the poster?
No, the film.
What We Do in the Shadows, he has been one of the best comedy I've seen for a few years, and I do love it. You've heard me sing its praises from the rooftop, and I think I will vote that because the only reason I'd be voting against it would be to vote against it, and there's no point because I like it. And if I was curious about Horns, let's say you brought something like Ex Machina like you did last week, I might have voted that way because I'm intrigued. But in this case, What We Do in the Shadows, it has to go there for me. So that's my vote.
Don't worry, listeners, I still won't win. Everyone's panicked, my streak will end. It won't. People betting at home.
Yeah, they are.
Well, we'll see.
Sports fans.
What We Do in the Shadows and Return of Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing I haven't seen.
Which?
Return of Swamp Thing I haven't seen. I'm aware they exist. They do sound like the perfect sort of throwaway silly movie that I would really enjoy. And you've made me aware and I want to watch them. But like you said, What We Do in the Shadows, I think we have sung its praises a lot, but I've seen it 3 times now, I think, and I think it is a fantastic film that didn't get sort of widely spread as it could have done. And I know that they've just successfully funded the Kickstarter to get it to American audiences. So if it's being released in America, I think people should get out there and see it, our American listeners. So I think, based on that as well, I'm going to go What We Do in the Shadows, because if you haven't seen it and it's still on in the cinemas, and American listeners, if it's on, which it will be soon, find out on the Kickstarter, I think. But yeah, go see it because it is great.
I've learned that you can bring any film you want from any sphere and I won't win. But if you bring a film they originally recommended, you're going to win. So next week, I'm going to watch Return of Swamp Thing. Well, that's your lie. I'm going to watch bloody...
Isn't he cantankerous?
Yeah, just a little bit.
A little grumpy bun.
I am.
I could see his face when I was deliberating mine. Like, oh God!
Like anything
Yeah.
to not have me fucking win.
I nearly changed my
even
mind
said
when
he
it's like,
loved
I'm
it.
not even going to win anyway.
And I remember-
sat there and went, actually, just so you don't win, I'm going to vote for Swamp Thing.
A few weeks, it was a couple of months ago on this, and Scott was the one going, "It doesn't matter, guys."
It doesn't, but then one day you went, Scott's not won in 58
That was last week, and you said you liked it.
I don't. I had time to contemplate my failures.
Well, you've
Well-
won now.
Well, you've won. Well done.
Thank
That's
you.
3 hours.
Here's your toys. Put them back in the pram. Jeez.
But what you can bring now, Scott, is your decommend.
I guess, just through process of elimination, it would have to be Zach and Mary make a porno.
Fucking Mary, why?
Okay.
Why? It's Kevin Smith doing a Judd Apatow film, and I kind of like the first half of it when it's setting up its stall, and then it's just not much not much happening. You get a bit desensitized to the sort of porn jokes constantly, and the knob gags, and the porn title jokes and stuff, and I'm just like, yeah. There's got to be more to this, because it seemed like it from the first half of the film, and then I don't think it's bad at all, actually. It's Kevin Smith almost trying to be someone else, and then being a bit on the nose with his sort of premise regarding his humour, and it's purely, I've only seen 4 films, if I'm being honest with you. And that just happens to be the worst.
Do you feel outside of his kind of usual cast that the humour just doesn't work, or you're not as kind of friendly towards it because you expect that from the viewer skew, but perhaps you were wanting something different in this case?
I think the comedy's fine for the most part. It's just that at a certain point, you just it tries to have its love story is quite predictable, and the rest of it is literally just porn jokes holding it up.
Anyway, now it moves to me. And to be honest, I found it quite difficult as well. I'd watched a few more films than you, Scott. But they were all 6 upwards. And I was all ready to bring Napoleon Dynamite along, but I'm not, because I watched Beyond Reanimator, which is a sequel to a film I like. The first Reanimator is great fun. I haven't seen Bride of Reanimator, and this was the one that was made in like 2003 as part of the Fear Factory, when a load of films headed by Brian Yuzna were brought out. There was Dagon, which we saw last year, and Beyond Reanimator should be just a trashy fun watch, but for some reason, for the first 60 minutes, it's a bit too beholden of its story, like it's important. We know what Reanimator's about. It's about reanimating corpses, but for some reason you get this prison drama.
Oh, I thought it was like redrawing cells from old.
I
thought that my little brother. He showed an interest in animation.
A film where they bring Nick Park back from the dead, even though he's not dead. But so yeah, it just was a bit disappointing. I mean, and then it tried to make up for it in the last 20 minutes of having all these kind of crazy undead people chopped in half, some funny drug jokes where someone has the reanimator fluid too much and then explodes, and then it's like, hey, give me some more drugs. It's just doesn't quite deliver on what you're wanting from that kind of film. Whereas Swamp Thing, as I said, knew what it was. It was proud of what it was, and it went through. This one was like, right, I've got to make some kind of worthy story before we can actually have fun. No, you don't. You just need to have fun in a B-movie horror like that. So that's why Beyond Reanimator is my decommend. And it goes to Steve now with his decommend.
There's a big sigh. I don't know whether you noticed my face.
Why did you have to narrate it? Like, sigh. That was an audible sigh, if you hadn't noticed.
I watched 4 films and they were all really good, and Beyond Reanimator
Only 4, Steve.
was my decommend.
Wow. So you've got...
So what happens? We've never had this happen
You'd
before.
have picked
You've got to pick one of the other
Both
two.
decommending. Can I not decommend
No,
the same
you can't.
film?
No, because what am I going to do? Pick So Andrew,
Yeah.
Andrew hated it
This is
more.
Well, it's,
when,
it's an ultimate decament because two of us really didn't.
We've
know.
had this before. You
This
just
is a
take
game
the
of
next-
chess, so I played my pieces, and you should watch more films.
Fine.
Basically,
To go easy on him, would you have an alternate decomend?
No, it's fine.
do I want to go easy on?
Yeah,
it?
you're
No,
right.
no, it's
just
fine.
go for your next.
It's the way this is going already. It's fine. Just keep picking on it.
We have done this before. I'm pretty sure me and Andrew had the same one.
Right.
once, and
I can't-
whoever
I
goes
can't
first,
remember.
basically.
No, that's
steals.
fair enough.
And we got to decommend
It's a
7s and 8s
lockdown.
before on rare
I know,
occasions,
it's
so
true. So begrudgingly then, my decommend is Lock.
It's Tom Hardy in a car.
Yeah, Tom Hardy in a car, and that's
So that's the subtitle.
pretty much it. Tom Hardy in a car. Or Tom Hardy car, if you give it a 3-word review.
That'd be a terrible 3-word. You can't just jumble the premise together in an intangible way,
Why?
because that's not what a review is.
So yeah, it's basically Tom Hardy in a car driving along a motorway. Fantastic soundtrack, really nice visuals. It is just him for the entire film, and it's a series of phone calls transpire. He should have been at this construction job, and it's just him taking a series of life-altering phone calls where he has to make decisions and put people on hold, and it's all quite. And I must admit, I was really on the edge of my seat, and it was up there as a almost recommend. But the fact that Horn stayed with me longer, so it's tough to decommend. I guess the decommend side of it, if I'm selling it down, it's boring. It's Tom Hardy in a car. You're like, there's nothing really happening. But see, I'm trying to say. But when you look away, it's almost like an audio. You almost don't have to watch it, if that makes sense. You could just listen to it. So, if slow-paced films that not a lot happens, and if that's not your kind of thing, I don't know how to
If you're
sell it down.
It's
It's difficult, but it's a very, very interesting short look at this snapshot of this man's life and all these little phone calls. But probably quite boring if you're not into that kind of thing. So that's my decommend.
Fair enough.
That was tough
It's
because
always tough
yeah,
on those
Yeah.
situations.
but the score's great. Yeah.
It's kind of like Buried, similar kind of thing as that. You're
Yeah,
just confined
similar
in that
concept.
space with him for that time, but a
Yeah.
bit less claustrophobic.
Yosh.
Okay, then Scott, you vote first. You have Beyond Reanimator and Lock.
Lock sounds literally like the taxi ride I had earlier. You like word for word. Okay. It should have had Nicolas Cage in it and been called Aircon. And Beyond Reanimator is a film I will never watch. I just know that for a fact. But I've heard of it, and I hear many people talk about it, so I imagine it's got a cult status. But I imagine I've heard Lock's great, and I was intrigued by it, and I will get around to it, so it's going to be Beyond Reanimator.
I don't quite know why it's Beyond Reanimator.
No, yeah.
It doesn't go beyond anything that the first film didn't do. Return of Beyond Reanimator, if you're going to go for a cliche.
Evoking Reanimator.
I like that more. So I vote next. Quite difficult, really. I've seen Zack and Miri make a porno. It's fine. I think I'd agree with you.
It sounds weird when you say it in that context.
It-
What was it?
It was good. I watched them through the window. I didn't know I was there. We both had a happy ending. But it's fine, throwaway,
Yeah.
enjoyable,
Yeah.
not memorable, I think would be my views on that, around that. And
I would agree.
Lock is something, though, that I do want to see. It's definitely on my to-see list, more than Horns was. Tom Hardy has impressed me pretty much in everything I've seen him be in so far. I'm trying to think of something I've seen where I don't like him.
Have you seen This Is War?
No.
When him and Chris Pine fight over Reese Witherspoon.
That I was trying to think. There is some weird rom-com.
I've not watched it, but I'm pretty sure he's probably good at it. I'm pretty sure he's probably even charming. But I imagine it's that, if there is one.
Good shout.
But so purely because I really want to see Locke. I think it's a really good actor. It's got to be Zack and Miri make a porno just for being slightly more.
Nah.
So, Steve, you can either solidify Beyond Reanimator or pump out Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Oh,
Visual.
Zack and Miri Make a Porno. I'm a huge fan of Kevin Smith, and I get where you're coming from. That he, it almost felt like he was trying to be a Judd Apatow film at times. I get that.
Yeah,
But maybe that's because of the Seth Rogen thing and the
I
don't know.
I genuinely think he was making an effort.
Yeah.
To. I don't think
get
it's
that.
just the common cast.
Yeah. But again, it was I enjoyed it. It was good. It's one I've revisited, and it's a strong 6-7 out of 10. Whereas Beyond Reanimator, as you've already heard, I was going to decommend, and I think I am going to have to decommend that purely because, again, Reanimator is such a great cult film of its time, and this almost feels like all those years later, like you say, they felt this need to have an hour of dialogue and plot and things, and it's like effects have moved on so much since then. They could have gone all out silly, but they didn't. They kind of felt this sort of wordy film where and then they thought, oh no, wait a minute, we haven't put any of the stuff in, and crammed it all in the last 15 minutes with lots of bizarre scenes that almost didn't tack together properly. It was just a bit of a strange mishmash.
After all you'd had before,
yeah, you'd had this great build-up, and okay, if you're following that story, fine, but then like, oh shit, let's throw some stuff together quick, and it just didn't really work. The acting was interesting at times, to say the least, but as an experience, it was entertaining. There was a few of us watching it, and we took the piss and we laughed at it. But as a film, watch the original. Don't spoil you.
I love how its biggest crime is for trying to have a plot.
In a weird way, though, it's right.
No, I completely understand where you're coming from, but it just sounds really funny. Like, trying to have a plot and scenes and themes and motifs, and you're trying to have an overriding arc for each character. Oh, God.
Oh, wasn't that eloquent? Chill out, jeez. You're making me sound... Come on.
So this week's winner is Scott with What We Do in the Shadows for your recommend of the week, and the decommend of the week goes my way with Beyond Reanimator. Now, hark, let us move forward to the rest of the show.
Hark.
It's time for the news.
Yay.
No fanfare. Nice, that'll do.
No, I made that tune up. That's not a thing.
No, it's not.
It's definitely not a thing.
It's catchy.
It is. It's really catchy.
I think you should definitely
don't complete it. I wrote that for the opera I've composed about a crackpot inventor from the north and his little dog.
Oh.
I think you should like cheese. We're all coming in on you.
Why?
That's it.
Everyone's a backseat screenwriter.
So 33%.
Get your own ideas.
Gina Carano of Fast and Furious 6 will play Angel Dust, a member of the Morlocks underground mutant team with a superpower that gives her strength from bursts of adrenaline. TJ Miller is going to play an undisclosed role, and Russian mutant Piotr Nikolaevich Rasputin will show up as
Colossus.
a bad guy, also known as Colossus. Yeah. Nicely done. In the Deadpool movie.
Colossus won't be a bad guy because he's a good man.
Oh.
He's a very good man. I'm pretty sure TJ Miller will play the sort of sidekick like Bob from Hydra or Weasel.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be cool.
One I'm getting more and more excited for, just the very fact that we're getting it. I think we covered this a few weeks ago when there was some other news about it, but just the very fact we're getting Deadpool, and then we're getting some really cool characters in there. He's not going to be on his own. It's not just going to be him fighting. I always used to hate it when you used to have your flagship kind of guy, and there wasn't any big villains in there. It was either like Suits or something, like the FBI they're fighting, or bikers in the case of The Flash. Even though that's a great film, you really want to see a villain in there. So it's really cool that now the world loves it, don't they? They cram as many as they can in.
Well, I think the villain will either be Ajax or T-Bone. Or is it T-Ray? Oh, I need to sleep. Am I saying T-Bone because it's the steak? Because that's right. T-Ray seems well right.
Tweet in. The upcoming Assassin's Creed movie, which I didn't realise has actually got the go-ahead. Michael Fassbender as the lead, and Marion Cotillard has just been signed up for an unknown role. Justin Kurzel, that directed the two leads in the upcoming adaptation of Macbeth, will direct, and it's given a release date of 2016, Christmas.
What do you think the best video game movie is?
It's a really good question. Yeah. Are there any good video game movies? Now, I really like Silent Hill, but it's not perfect. It's far from perfect. I think I just like the style of some of it.
I really like Mortal Kombat. I really do. Like, I'll defend it.
I like all the Resident Evil ones.
Steve always has to ruin it.
Okay,
I've not seen any of
I do.
I have no opinion.
I didn't, but what I do like is Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. It lends itself a lot to anime anyway, but that is just an amazing movie. And I've got Street Fighter Alpha to watch, which is another one of the animated movies. I cannot wait to watch it.
And of course, Street Fighter 1, which is a 10 out of 10.
In some people's books.
Yeah. Moving on. What's your favourite movie? Tweet in, let us know. We got a giggling Cameron Monaghan, and the tagline, Gotham's next villain is no joke, for episode 16, the Gotham trailer. But the showrunner Bruno Heller has promised many potential Jokers in order to keep us guessing till the end, and also expressed a desire to only scratch the surface of the story.
You know what? This show's really growing on me, because I came to the realisation about a few episodes ago that it's basically Batman 66 pretending to be something darker, more noirish and better, but it's not. It's ridiculous. And when you take it as a sort of Elseworlds bit of camp TV, an hour a week, I find it really passable, actually. And I get a weird kick out of it. I still think, conceptually speaking, it's wrong to include the Joker until Bruce Wayne is Batman. But it was always going to happen, and they've started the tease. The episode's already aired, and I should have watched it by now, but I've been busy. So I can't confirm if it's him or whatever, but I'm pretty sure they'll chuck a few red herrings about, and I'm pretty sure it's not. No,
because from what he said, it's going to tease. So.
But I don't care.
Yeah,
like it's just good enough so that I don't mind it existing, but it's just bad enough that I don't care about it. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And coming from the biggest Batman fan, that's
I just don't think it's doing any harm, because it's not like we're not going to get a film, because it's not like we're not getting it's bonus Batman TV over there.
Definitely.
And again, we say before, but the Batman is such a great property that in the comic form it can be handed out to all kinds of authors, and it's your take on it as well. It does, because there is no definitive Batman, is there? There is no, you can do what you want with it. It's just there is the body that you need to fill. There's the rules. But you can bring your own slant to it. And this is what this is doing.
The most malleable character there is.
Yeah.
And I wish they'd either done a show set in Gotham with a Batman that Batman's never there. Like if you just showed the cops and Batman's in third and but never there, or a true prequel show without Batman, rather than this, which is a weird mixture of the two that doesn't quite service either.
I really like the idea of the being focused on the police department. That really works.
That's what I hoped it would be. It's really what I hoped it would be.
But I would like, as I say, if Nightwing was a bit more prevalent in it. And
exactly.
At that point, where Batman is Batman, Batman, he is always there in the shadows, controlling things. But you, on a street level, as a cop, as you see in the graphic novels all the time, you only meet like the Huntress and Nightwing and things. At that level, maybe you'll meet the current Robin or something at some point, but you never see Batman because he's got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Just fine. It's the worst if I was grading all the superhero telly, but it's fine.
Halloween isn't being remade or rebooted. It's apparently being recalibrated. Now, make of that what you will. Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, who wrote the last few Saw movies and Piranha 3 Double D, have been hired, and the movie's been in limbo since Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 in 2009.
Weird that. It's
recalibration.
It's not needed. Are you going to bring anything new to a psychopath killing people? Are you going to make that scary again? Are you going to do anything better or different? No, you're not. Leave it. Let it die.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tried it with Halloween that we saw with Rob Zombie's take on it. We watched it together. We reviewed it on the show last year, and it's sometimes, you know what, people, it'd be good to let things go.
Definitely.
But it's never going to happen, especially in horror. So
no.
they can call it whatever they want.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if it's any good. The best it can be, I think, is okay.
Yeah, definitely.
The only I want to hear with Halloween is rewatching the first one.
Nice.
Boom.
Boom.
Take that to the back.
The biggest news, biggest news confirmed that Spider-Man is heading to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
What? But is that Sony?
Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios have struck a deal.
When?
Kevin Feige will join Amy Pascal at the Sony to co-produce the next Spider-Man movie with a July 28th confirmed release date 2017. Reports are it will take Spider-Man back to high school age.
Well, that's not.
Well, it's going to go
not
right.
so
back.
it's
basically, it's suggesting that it's not going to be Garfield.
Yeah, I think that's been.
Well, I
confirmed.
don't think it can be, because suddenly you have to accept everything Amazing Spider-Man has in it, and it's just a clumsy fit. Where were the Chitauri? Do you know, like, it's the best news we could have got. It's still a compromise. Sony still kind of own it, but they're letting Marvel in and they're working with him. They get final say, which might worry some people, and they have the right to sort of spin things out of this deal, which might. I don't know how much influence Marvel will have on said spin-offs, and thus it might compromise the universe slightly. But then we do it in comics all the time, pick and choose what we consider canon. And also, I don't think they'd want to sour the relationship much, because they're going to earn money. This is pure money.
It's the best thing that can happen for them, really, because our opinion of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, that it was okay, but just not up to scratch with a lot of the other things out there.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much an opinion quite across the board with fans of it. Lots of people have been saying that this reboot of Spider-Man just felt a little bit okay, good, but pointless overall. Now they're doing something different, and this is amazing. Yeah. This is an amazing Spider-Man. You know, this really is what we wanted, and I never ever thought we'd see. And it shows that studios are learning, and that's the big thing for me. Studios are learning not to be selfish and money grabby, but actually going, well, how can we, make money still, but also give the fans what the fans want.
And I also think if Marvel already own all the merchandising rights to Spider-Man, I think if that wasn't the case, Sony wouldn't be doing this. So they need to make money purely on the films. And the best way of doing it is having the Marvel universe behind you. You need to recast. I think you do need to make it a high schooler, and I would advise them not to do an origin. Just have him just starting out. Because we would have heard of him if he was like in his prime, and we don't want free origins in 15 years, 16 years. Do you know what I mean? We know it. We all know it.
Yeah,
my nan knows it. He was bitten.
The only spanner it does throw into the works is if they're going to introduce him into the universe, and they're going to introduce him. They've got to introduce him earlier on, before the release of the film. I remember reading.
What do you mean?
If I'm right. He's going to have a cameo in one of the films.
No, he's going to be in Marvel Civil War.
But there's a film coming out before where he's going to have to appear, but before 2017.
Why?
It's coming out the year before. I wish I could remember.
No,
Damn
he doesn't. He's going to be in Civil War.
Yeah.
And then he's having a spin-off. But why can't you just say this guy's about in Civil War and introduce him then?
And even if they need to do that, they can flashback it a little bit, and go, I remember. You can show him fighting the aliens that came down in Chitauri. You can go back to that, or if you need to. You don't really need to, though. What I like, though, is immediately think the thing I thought was me and you, Scott, all the way back in 2008 when the DVD came out of Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And there was that little flash in the corner and everyone was going, oh, is that an Easter egg of Spider-Man? Because it does look like something's swinging through the smoke and you can't see it and it's in the perfect shape. Now I'm guessing that it's just a thing that happened. It might have been a cheeky nod put in there, but now that it's actually happening, it makes that little egg, even if it isn't an egg, even cooler. You know what I mean?
It doesn't explain why Spider-Man didn't get involved in this two behemoth fights in New York.
Having a watch.
Yeah.
Maybe he was swinging his webs around. And
If it was me, I'd try and cast it as soon as possible before Avengers Age of Ultron's out and have that my post-credits thing with the new Spider-Man.
That was Age of Ultron.
Because that'd just be perfect. Not that the film needs it, but for a cool post-credits scene to your massive sequel, event-changing thing, it'd be great. And then introduce him in Civil War, then he'll get his own film, and then there'll be an Infinity War, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
Incredibly
I've
exciting.
always hoped for it to happen, and it's happened. Best thing Marvel could have done.
And if you think how important I know they do stray a bit off the graphic novels in the MCU, but he's an integral part of Civil War.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go with the sort of secret identities thing, because not many have them today in the Marvel Cinematic. I think it's going to be more about the events of Age of Ultron and Winter Soldier to a degree.
But to have him not in it would have been a bit sad.
I still hope they keep the sort of tug of war with Spider-Man that he represents in Civil War, where Iron Man sort of bends his ear and then he realises, no, I'm with Cap because of these. I hope he goes through a similar trajectory. But
could you say that this might have been a little bit of positivity that came out from the Sony hack? That they saw that these emails came out and then they saw the reaction. Oh, well, they should have had Spider-Man in it.
I do think, if you believe in parallel universes, there's one where Sony hack didn't happen, and I don't think we get this news now. I think they sit on their hands thinking for longer. Because when those emails were hacked and everyone talked about it, everyone almost went, do that! Yeah, Marvel! And I think it will have influenced them, definitely.
We got a couple of tweets. Anthony Collett at Hit and Sony Pictures will have final creative control of the Spider-Man films. Worrying, maybe. Although they've not done a terrible job in the past, sans emo Spidey, so maybe I'm quick to judge.
Well, they don't know what they're doing with it, hence agreeing to this decision. And they'd be... What have they got? Like Marvel, with all the success, turning B and C list and D list and Z list with Guardians into great blockbuster franchises, and they've earned millions and billions of pounds. Are they going to produce something and Sony's going to go, well, that's crap because we made Amazing Spider-Man? They're just going to say as long as they don't kill Spider-Man or someone rubs the bum with his mask. They're going to say aren't they? Yeah. So I won't worry too much. It's more about the spin-offs I'm slightly worried about.
Yeah.
Because I think they'll try and power ahead with stuff like Sinister Six and think they can do it anyway, and maybe try and go off script with the Marvel U and just mess it up.
I'm disappointed the bum mask scene has been removed.
Yeah.
Well, they won't let me write an Avengers.
Well, now we know they're listening. If you're listening out there,
Scene
Sony
one,
execs.
the Hulk grabs Spider-Man's mask.
weeklygeekspeak at gmail.com. Sony execs, tag it Scott. He's got some ideas.
I really do. I've been thinking about that scene.
Fifth Wall Podcast at Fifth Wall Pod, so pretty excited considering he's been involved in almost every major Marvel story arc, Civil War, Infinity Gauntlet, etc. And Dave at Wilbro Jr. 36 said, so do you think they'll keep Andrew Garfield or get someone new? If so, who do we think should play?
They'll get someone new. They have to.
They all, I think
it's a shame because I like Andrew Garfield. I liked him.
Yeah. I think that's already been announced in the last couple of days since I wrote the news.
I think they could have maybe tied Amazing Spider-Man in, maybe. It was, but it's just not worth it. And I think you do have to set your stall out to go, no, this is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
So you do have to recast.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of young, slight actors who could play him, and I can't at the moment. Who's
everyone likes Jack O'Connell at the minute. From Skins.
Oh, right.
And in fact, he's in everything. He's one of those people who just seems to be in everything, and then must be 82, but he's still only like 20. Just
Stuck a pat.
what a horrible. Just some people just make you angry.
Yeah.
Like, because they're so young and like talented and like
not...
they're probably happy as well. Isn't it?
They are.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
Talking of age, something from my childhood. Rumour has it, and yours as well, but rumour has it that Netflix are working with Nintendo on a live-action Zelda TV series. It's the first time Nintendo will have worked closely to sort of let their characters properly...
the Super Mario Brothers film.
Yeah, I suppose. The Zelda TV series does scare me because the only Zelda we've seen is the animated one where he had the annoying catchphrase.
Slow down, princess.
There we go.
Whoa, calm down, man.
He's all like that. Also.
Link
like
doesn't
Sonic.
Link doesn't speak. So
And he had brown hair.
I don't know.
Well, it's very tough because the whole point in the games is he never speaks, so
Yeah.
you can sort of project yourself onto him.
Yeah.
It's a very famous trait in all the games.
Yeah.
They can't do that in a film.
They can't.
Um,
So a TV show
but
where he speaks.
I've always liked the idea of this because it's a rich world if you mine everything from
Yeah.
all the games, and you could do a really cool lighter Game of Thrones without the sex.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
A Game of Thrones kind of thing. That kind of tone, po-faced and proper. Do it properly.
Yeah.
Don't think, it's a children's game. It has to be done in a children's way.
No,
Yeah.
I want proper moblins and creatures and Ganon and
It's a great world they've built,
It is.
and we've seen from, you may or may not like The Hobbit, but The Lord of the Rings and that world, it's worked. It's now a living world that's proved that fantasy works.
Yeah.
It's a perfect property. It's already established. You've already got fans. Just do it right. You'll satisfy them.
I'd certainly watch it.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that they're working so closely with Nintendo.
As long as it's not a fair that's going, hey, listen,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Listen!
listen,
Damn it.
hey, people at home,
Listen!
listen.
Listen to this news. Wolverine 3 2017
Meh.
will be based on a comic book story arc.
What?
But won't take place anywhere we've already been in the X-Men and Wolverine movies, and Patrick Stewart is also rumoured to be in this one. So kind of a bit of a...
Anywhere they've been,
Yeah, so it's going to be somewhere new. Under the water, on the moon,
I think they've done all that. haven't they?
Neptune, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean this with the greatest of respect to X-Men, who kicked off this in 2000, this sort of superhero renaissance, and have genuinely performed very successfully over this period of time. But Hugh Jackman, how many films are you going to do until you just go, you know what, it might be time for someone else?
Yeah.
Because we're almost at, 84th this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's starting to really feel that way. And yeah, you know, stop the clocks right twice a day. You're going to get some good films, but
Yeah.
I'd rather a new direction and let's do X-Men differently. Just let this die after... Apocalypse, perfect time to end it. It's called Apocalypse.
Yeah.
You've got your biggest, baddest villain. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
To get you back up, we got our first look at Murdoch, aka Daredevil, in the trailer for the Netflix original series, which lands on April the 10th. The show features Rosario Dawson, Eldon Henson, Deborah Ann Woll, and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
Very moody.
Yeah.
It looks very moody. Weird for the Marvel Universe. It looks a real departure, doesn't it? It's set in the same. I like that though. It works for Daredevil.
Daredevil, or we've said this before, always feels like he should belong in the DC universe.
Well, he's their Batman, isn't he? And he's very thematically strong. And I've always just had the weirdest soft spot for him. He's like always been one of my favourite Marvel characters. I hope he gets a more traditional costume by the end of it. I know there's comic precedents in like Frank Miller's run for his current sort of black ninja look, but I want a red leather devil by the end. I'm not gonna lie.
We all want
We all want that.
We
That's
do.
all. That's
We
all I
do.
want for Christmas. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that as anything outside Age of Ultron at the minute. Just way more than Ant-Man.
Are they going to release them all at once, or anything?
I'm
I
really
hope
scared.
so.
It's really going to be like a summer of Marvel. I'm scared I'm not going to be able to escape it because you'll have like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will be back running up to like March, April, May. Then then Avengers is going to come out. Then probably have like a Spider-Man sting, and then Daredevil's here as we prep towards Ant-Man. And there'll probably be some more news. It's just Marvel, isn't it? I swear they do it on purpose.
It's marvellous.
Meanwhile,
It
DC will
is.
go, by the way, Batman's in a new Superman film.
Fully keeping that elusive trailer
Yeah.
so close to the chest.
I want them
are.
to drop it before this picks up, though, because it's going to be just the year of relentless Marvel. Get it in early.
Yeah. Get it in there. Sigourney Weaver is currently working currently in Chappie by director Neil Blomkamp. The director released some concept art about a month ago of an alien movie with Ripley's character Sigourney Weaver as an alien and some other pictures. There's a high possibility that this might get made. He said that Fox would greenlight it in a second.
Probably.
Although Weaver has said it'd be nice to let Ripley die and rest in peace, but
Like an Alien
she
3.
doesn't mind. She wouldn't mind if he did it
Then why did she do Alien Resurrection?
Money speaks, doesn't it? Money talks. But I'm not really very keen on it. I think I'm not bothered about that franchise anymore because I think it's been dragged through the muck. However, Neil Blomkamp, it's about as good as you can get in sci-fi directors, isn't it, at the moment?
Very true.
And it will be interesting to see him do something set in a pre-established universe that isn't his kind of grimy South African world that he's made, and all his films seem to be set in. I'm still sure that they all they're in the same universe in different times. But I'd be interested to see it, and as much as I don't want it to happen, if it's going to happen, that's a good way to go.
Definitely.
I'm on board with that.
Interesting enough, Chappie's just been given an R rating.
Good stuff.
Which will be intriguing, because from the trailer it doesn't look like an R-rated film. So
I think there's some of the stuff with the gangs and stuff, from what I picked up, that it could get quite dark, and I want it to get quite dark.
The trailers evoked a lot of like 80s films I loved, like Short Circuit and Batteries Not Included. But so, that you can do that and be mature.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very excited.
And if you remember things like in District 9, the violence is quite big, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he does mature. He does quite mature sci-fi films. They're not for lower. I don't know why you need to.
No, it's good.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's good. And finally, Devon Franklin Sr., the Vice President of Columbia Pictures, has unveiled the official title card and logo for the impending release of a Masters of the Universe live-action movie. Jeff Wadlow, who directed Kick-Ass 2, is on board to completed the screenplay draft and is possibly on board to direct.
I did not know that one.
Neither did I. I went, what?
Purely through researching our screening of the old Master of the Universe, which, if you've forgotten, is on the 3rd of March at the Green Room in Sheffield. Come along, 7:30. I came across this while looking into everything, and I was excited.
Yeah.
Did the guy, when he announced it, go, "I have the power"?
He should have done.
Because if he didn't, I'm out now. Because that's the most obvious joke. But yes,
definitely incredibly excited.
We're in for that one, for sure.
And we know Jeff Wadlow can direct. Kick-Ass 2 looked. I mean, we weren't fans of the adaptation, but it looked good.
Tom Hardy for Skeletor.
Tom Hardy.
Oh wow!
Hi, He-Man. Imagine he would go full on running like
hands.
Yeah, because that's how I imagine Tom. But it'd be more higher pitched Bane. It'd be amazing.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff.
Be good.
Well, let us know your thoughts on any of the news stories we've talked about today at Weekly Geek Speak, or you can email us if it's a more lengthy reply you want, and send us weeklygeekspeak@gmail.com. Today on Weekly Geek Speak's Indie View, we are very lucky to be talking with Alex Covington and Rika Diocampo, who are Hope and Faith, stars of the YouTube series We Might Be Superheroes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The beauty of YouTube is it really puts a platform out there for online series. So We Might Be Superheroes. I've watched the first few episodes, and it's really entertaining. First off, who are Hope and Faith?
Well, Hope and Faith are two sort of average girls growing up in a city called Mondo City, which is fictitious. They both come from two totally different backgrounds. Hope comes from a bit more of a struggling to survive, did every kind of job in the book, and actually has done some crime fighting at different points of her life. And Faith comes from more of a sheltered, she, is smart and went to college. Not that Hope didn't go to college or isn't smart.
Riley did not go to college. No, she did not.
No, she did not. Okay, good. Didn't want to offend.
I was probably security at someone's college.
Totally. Yeah, you totally were. And they answer an ad for, they both love superheroes, and they respect the world of crime fighting and justice and all of that. And in the pilot, they respond to a call for people who want to be heroes for a day. And they don't realize that it ends up bringing them, without them realizing it, into a partnership. They meet each other and they end up like handling something that happens right then, and then they decide to be a crime-fighting duo.
Well, that is the longest explanation. I would just say that Hope and Faith are a pair of accidental heroes that have come together through serendipitous circumstances to save the city.
So I would describe it as kind of Kick-Ass meets the Batman series from the 60s.
Absolutely what we go for.
It's really entertaining, kind of a comic comedy, if you see what I mean by that, with a real modern touch. How did the series come about?
Well, Pat has been making films forever. Pat is our executive producer. And he has a group of friends, and they all had this idea of something to do. Well, first his idea was, why don't I make web series? They'll be short. We can shoot them really quickly, and I can, have like a fun 60s meets Broad City kind of idea. Plus, he really likes strong female leads. So he and his friends that he grew up with came up with this storyline of Riley and Christine, who turn into Faith and Hope, who might be superheroes. And you know what? We are. Yeah, Alex and I found out about the series over an audition website called Backstage.
How difficult has it been to make? Because you said Pat had the vision that it would be quite easy to churn out the episodes and things on YouTube. Has it been tougher, or has it actually been really easy?
I'd say it's been fairly easy. I mean, we haven't had, any major problems. The crew is amazing. And we all really enjoy it. So, that helps a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
getting it done.
I think the hardest thing is just scheduling and getting everyone to be available at a certain time. Yeah. But we make it work, and thankfully we haven't. Thankfully, Alex and I are not divas, so we don't make things difficult for the crew or for the other cast, and we don't really work with other divas. So we kind of get together and just have a fun time.
It's built a really good fan base. You've got great views on YouTube. Have the fans, were they on from the start, or how's the fan base grown?
It's definitely grown a lot, right, Rika? Yeah,
absolutely. When we first released, there wasn't a lot of views, and then Alex and I and the Amusement Films crew went to Comic-Con in New York, and then we started promoting, and we speak to our people, and they are the people of our own kind, the fellow geeks and nerds and stuff, and so they started following in it, and it's kept up. It's kept up pretty well.
Amusement Films had a fan base, to start, so there were people that were already following Pat and were interested in the series and knew that it was going to happen. So it wasn't like we were coming from completely nothing, but Comic-Con and just kind of the momentum has really picked up the views.
You've been going 21 episodes now. What's the plan for the story? Is it like a finite story, or is it ongoing, or is that something to ask Pat?
I guess it's something to ask Pat. I don't really have the answer.
Yeah, but the other thing is that Pat's whole vision was every episode could be standalones, that you didn't have to continue and watch every single episode to make sure that you were there, or you understood what was going on. So as far as overall story arc goes, we're not really sure where it'll go, because that wasn't even the idea in the first place. But we do nod back to old episodes and old scenes. We're actually not completely sure where season 3 goes. We're filming now. We get scripts whenever we schedule a day. We'll get a script, and Alex and I will be like, "You ready for this one?"
Obviously, the Batman 60s series is in there and things. But what would you say are the show's influences, and how would you sell it to anyone who hasn't seen the show?
Well, originally when we got the breakdown for the audition, it was 60s Batman meets Two Broke Girls.
Yeah.
Which I think there is a little bit of that when we're not crime fighting and we're just a bit more like two girls in our apartment dealing with life. I feel like there is a sense of that.
I mean, I don't really want to compare us to anybody else, to be honest. I think that's really what it is. It is like Two Broke Girls and 60s Batman, but we're kind of our own little world. It more than anything else, we're probably closer to other web series that are about superheroes, like Sweethearts of the Galaxy, or shows like that. Because there's a feel to it for me that feels a little, and this is only in kind of color and in like spark and brightness. There's a feeling of a little Saved by the Bell for me, because it feels like a Saturday morning thing that you would watch that wasn't a cartoon.
There's a great chemistry between you two on screen. You can feel it immediately from the first few episodes. Did you know each other before you went into this? And did it feel that natural when you started filming?
Yeah, it did.
Not know each other at all.
Not at all. We met at the callback. So, and it was one of those things, she literally walked up to, me and the other girls that were waiting to go in. They had brought a group of people that were all up for the two roles, and they were kind of like pairing us and switching us out and seeing who had the best chemistry. And it was literally like we talked to each other and we immediately were like, okay, this needs to be it. It was instant.
Did I meet you in the hallway? I thought I met you in the room.
No, in the hallway before we went in.
Dude, I don't even remember you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
They called back, like, I want to say 10 girls, and they would switch out each girl with another person and see how their chemistry was. But I think in the back of their minds, they really wanted it to be Alex and I. And Pat said this the other day. He said, it was yours to lose. We were looking for you two, or we wanted it to be you two. So they were saying it was yours to lose. So then when I met Alex, like, it totally felt right. And then we left together and exchanged numbers and stayed friends. And then through the show, we've become extremely close.
I actually was looking forward to reading with you. I was so certain. I was like, that girl is going to be Riley, and I'm going to be like, this is going to make sense. And as soon as we ended up reading together, I was right.
It felt very right. And I feel like a complete jerk because I don't remember anyone in the hallway at all. I kind of don't even remember being in the hallway before I was taken into other rooms. But yeah, I was full on in audition mode.
So before you got into this, would you class yourself as geek? Are you into the geek culture, superheroes, this, that, and the other?
You can start, Alex.
Oh no! So I was not a part of this world until this show. I really wasn't. I mean, the dorkiest that I went was I do musical theater, and I've loved musical theater, so I dork out on that. And I also loved Archie comics as a kid. I was pretty obsessed with Archie comics, actually. But the whole superhero culture, I wasn't really a part of, and it's actually been really cool going to Comic-Con and learning about this because it's such a culture.
It is, yeah.
It really is, and it's awesome. I feel like I'm a part of it now, but I wasn't.
Welcome, Alex.
Thank you.
I have always been a geek nerd, kind of, not just like fantasy books, because I'm obsessed with all things that are fantasy books. If there's a dragon in it, I'm watching it or I'm reading it. Are there mythological characters? I'm all over it. Are there superheroes and powers? I'm into it too. Buffy is my all-time favorite show. I love those comics as well. I'm a really big fan of Marvel comics, and I'm also a little bit of a collector. Not nearly as close as Pat is. Pat has toys beyond toys, but I collect Buffy stuff. I have Buffy toys, and I have some Battlestar Galactica stuff, and I'm a big nerd. I enjoy this. I love Comic-Con. I do a little bit of cosplay. And then at the same time, I also love the horror genre too. I mean, big fan of zombies, and I didn't really grow up on it, but I'm not surprised because my father, his favorite thing is like zombies and gore. Like if someone tears open somebody else's like rib cage, it's his favorite thing ever. So yeah. But you're like in the world now, Alex, because you love Walking Dead.
That's true.
It's funny you mentioned that. I've only just finished watching that today. The fifth series so far. It's really good.
I've seen the latest episode. I'm dying.
I couldn't quite, because I'm a big fan of the comics. And
so
lots of my friends who read it were like, "Oh, I'm jumping off because it's not as good." I actually really liked it, the series, the way it went off in its own strands. But I didn't think, because I thought the comic suffered a little bit after the Governor. It had a little bit of the Governor hangover, whereas the TV series has gone strength to strength. But you've got me nerding out now, so.
The Governor was so different, right? In the comics, because he was kind of like a used car salesman, kind of like like some dude who wasn't as nearly as charming as the Governor in the show.
You have a weird relationship, won't you, with the Governor in the show, because you don't know, because at that point Rick's going through this, that and the other, and they've got such a weird dynamic, you don't know who's the good guy.
Yeah, no, I actually super love The Walking Dead. I never read any of the comics, but I'm very excited for, like, whenever it'll happen, whenever the series goes away or has to end, I'm going to start reading the comics then. That way I can revisit my friends and see this other story that they could have had, that they would have had. Although I know that Daryl and Merle aren't in it, but I'll be excited to see more about Tyrone.
Yes. But anyway, to bring this back onto We Might Be Superheroes, what other forms would you like to see your characters in? Would you like to see a comic book of yourselves?
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be fantastic. One of the things that I've always wanted was to be an action figure, so I'd love one of those. I'd like to be a Hope action figure. Comic books would be great, but I think that we're really well suited for a very fun video game.
Oh, great stuff.
There's so many silly villains. If there was a Hope and Faith video game that was kind of like the X-Men one, that would be great. You just kind of go through the sides. You know which X-Men video game I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I think I remember, yeah.
Yeah, where you would, like, fight the Blob, and then you would fight Pyro, and then you would fight, like, all these, like, people on an island. I think we're like that. Either that or, you know, Damaged or something like that. Oh, no, that's not the name of it. Rampage.
Did you ever see the Scott Pilgrim one they brought out with the film, which was actually based on the comic? And it was like one of those Streets of Rage ones where you walk along, and it was all in, like, pixels and stuff. It was absolutely brilliant.
Oh, my God, I want that for us.
So where from here? You're going into Series 3. Is there anything you can give away to any pre-established We Might Be Superhero fans out there? What's in store for Series 3?
We really don't know.
Well, I mean, we know just a tiny bit, and, like, you'll see some familiar faces for at least an episode. Some familiar villainesses, that gives away a lot. Yeah, so some of them will come back, but you can expect the same kind of quirkiness. And I know Pat is itching for a really big fight again, so I think you're going to see a big fight, probably from me.
I would assume so, but you never know.
Maybe I'll throw you on somebody.
For our listeners who have no idea about the show and things and might be interested, where can they find out more?
So you can find our show on YouTube. You can just type in We Might Be Superheroes, or you can go to Amusement Films. It's youtube.com/amusement films. You can also find us on Twitter, and that's at Amusement Films as well. And we also have a website, wemightbesuperheroes.com.
I would really urge all of our listeners to check it out, because it is great fun, and over everything else, I would describe this show as fun, because it's just so silly, short, great episodes. So thank you for joining me today. Before you go, for our episode, we have an artist on board called James, and for each episode he draws a picture. And what I wanted to ask you two is, if your characters could fight any villain, anyone you wanted, and be immortalised by James in his cartoon style, who would you like to take on?
Oh, jeez.
Immediately go to Godzilla.
Wow. That's cool.
I immediately go to Godzilla, but that wouldn't work in Armando City World but still, a big lizard monster would be awesome.
A big lizard monster would be really cool.
So, yeah, we'll put this to James then. The episode picture will be you two fighting a big lizard monster.
Excellent.
Good stuff. Well, thank you again so much for joining us. Do check out the show, We Might Be Superheroes, on YouTube. We'll be putting links on our website. Thank you to Rika and Alex. Thank you both for joining me. And I cannot wait to see what happens in the future. You've definitely got a fan in me.
Thank you so much.
A huge thank you to Alex Covington and Rika Diacampo. Do check out We Might Be Superheroes. It's a great fun. Batman 60s TV series meets Kick-Ass, as I say. I think it's a great way. You're looking very proud. You're like a proud duck.
I'm just trying a new stance.
Well, every other week we come to the great book, the Bumpy Goose book, a book I wrote when I was a child with my sister. Well, must be around the age of 10 or something, 8 to 10, not 24. So we get Steve to read the stories that I wrote. This one requires accents.
Right, I've had the next one spoiled for me, so can we do two?
Yeah.
Can we start with the one I saw, actually?
Yeah.
Because I'll just be thinking about it all the time.
So this is getting a twofer. The first one is one of the greatest bits of literary writing I've ever done. So,
So for fans of Bumpy Goose, you'll know that Andrew's incredibly good at naming just names in general.
And also, this is the one time I'm not going to interrupt him. I want the full story with this one.
Okay, straight through. You don't have to pause.
Okay,
right?
So this one's called It's a Mouse. It's a mouse. It's a moose. 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 It's a mouse. It's a vampire! The end. That picture is incredible. The picture's incredible. So the picture is a mouse.
It's actually all three.
Yeah, it's a mouse with antlers and vampire fangs. It's the most incredible picture yet.
I want a T-shirt which says "It's a moose, it's a mouse" all the way down the front, and on the back it says "It's a vampire."
Oh my god! Yes,
with that picture.
That needs to happen.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought it was just it's a mouse. I didn't know it was even more lead.
Oh my gosh!
But I was like, let's do that one.
Right, so
goodness,
that's the warm-up act.
That is incredible.
Steve, it will need your best Scottish accent.
Scottish, okay.
And I know he can do it.
This one's called The Trapdoor in the Judo Place. Nooch McCrongy.
Say that in a Scottish accent.
Nooch McCrongy.
There you go.
You know what? It works.
Lived at the very top of Scotland, near Loch Smelly.
I find that offensive. I'm half Scottish.
What's offensive?
Loch Smelly.
It's a smelly loch.
It's one of
doesn't mean that every loch in Scotland's smelly, just this one.
Yeah.
Put all their smelly water in this loch.
Yeah. He had loads of brothers and sisters. There's Tupi, Hate Me, Nevin, Holly, McGee, Melcy, Cog, and there's loads more.
Cog. He really grinds my gears, that Cog.
Nooch explained to his judo instructor.
No, you read that correctly.
I did. Wee! You do have loads of brothers, don't you, wee kid?
He's written that phonetically really well, actually.
He has. You have loads of brothers, don't you, wee kid? That's brilliant. Aye. Nooch replied, "Kick and punch." That went scouse then, because we're reading phonetically,
Yeah.
damn it. "Kick and punch," said the teacher.
He's about teacher.
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 When it was all over, Nooch went home to bed. Suddenly, at 12:51 p.m, Nooch remembered.
Wait, what?
That's in the afternoon. Yeah, that's in the afternoon.
Fair enough. Don't want to tell
Welcome,
anyone how to live their life.
He remembered he'd left his kilt in the judo place. Flippin' Geraldine!
We don't all walk around in kilts.
The Noosh does.
Leave it. How would you leave it?
He left his kit. He was getting changed,
Right.
and he's walked off in his judo kit. Simple.
Oh,
yeah.
I was going
and
to
he's
say,
left
if
his-
he's a traditional Scot, how has he not noticed he's not wearing anything back?
Well, I think he's left his judo kit on. He didn't walk out free willy.
Flippin' Geraldine, he exclaimed, I've lost my wee kilt, man! So off he went to the judo place. Who's man, where the heck did I leave the darn thingy? He looked everywhere. He began to get scared.
He began to get
He
scared.
began to get scared.
Only just started.
He began to get scared. But yeah.
And the big reveal.
There he's
Alright.
walking in.
Picture's cool, he's walking in a blue judo place, cool kids, it says on the sign above the door.
Place cool kids.
And he does look a bit scared in the picture. He's a bit,
Can only cool kids go through
Yeah.
that door?
Only cool kids do judo.
he fell down a trapdoor. Ooh! I've fallen down a wee trapdoor and I've found my kilt, man! The end.
I'm pleased it was a happy story. I was worried for a minute there.
Oh,
Noosh McCrongy there.
Noosh McCrong.
So we've reached the end of the show, and it's time for us now to listen to what you've had to say. If you do want to throw any 3-word reviews or any comments or anything we've talked about today, do get in touch with us at Weekly Geek Speak on Twitter. We're on Facebook as well, and you can email us at weeklygeekspeak@gmail.com. Steve, what time is it?
It's time for This Week The Geeks Have Spoken. Thank you, as always, for all your interactions. Reviews, keep them coming in. We appreciate everything. Pete Bushbauer, start as always, 3-word reviews.
Yes.
Pete Bushbauer, the king of 3-word reviews at Popular Outcasts on Twitter, is on a quest for 365 films in a year after making 352, I believe, last year, and just falling short without even trying. So this year he's on a proper mission to get that done, and he's well on his way.
Shall we take bets on what day he will reach his goal?
Yeah.
I reckon September. The 17th.
Okay.
Note it down.
September 17th, Scott. Yep.
And we're going October 12th.
Steve. October
I thought you were
12th.
going to do that, what people do. Do when you like one day before or one day after.
I'm going to go October the 94th. I don't know.
Steve's not winning.
I'm going to go... the rate he's going... I'm going to go
Quick.
August the...
But that changes,
Yeah,
you see.
but-
It might just be a hot streak.
I'm going to go August the 28th.
Brave man.
He really has faith.
I do. So, Pete...
We actually
Don't
wrote
let us
that down,
down.
Pete, not to free you out.
don't let us down. Come on.
Don't let me down.
Don't let me
Don't
down.
let me down.
You can pace yourself. You know,
So let's
have
you
a
can-
break. Enjoy yourself.
Pete, keep going at the rate you're going, it's fine. He saw John Wick. Yeah, Keanu's back. 8 out of 10.
You know what? When was the last film what was the newest film I saw Keanu in? Steve, I'm asking you.
I
What was the latest Keanu film I
Genuinely
watched, Steve?
don't know.
You log all my films.
Was it Constantine? All those
I
years
think
ago?
I've seen something since then. Day the Earth Stood Still were after Constantine.
Yeah, it was.
I watched Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey the other day.
That was before Constantine.
It was.
I just wanted to say, I 3-word reviewed it. Terrifying good robots, because as awesome
Yeah.
as those good robots are, they're terrifying.
Yeah.
When they're in hell, it still freaks me out. It's that grandma.
I think the rabbit's pretty horrible, and that grandma's played by the guy who plays.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Winter, yeah.
Excellent.
Lucy, overly ambitious mashup.
I've heard a lot
That's
that this
cool.
is the case with Lucy, and that's just my fiance.
Are we ready?
No.
The Guest.
Well, he didn't care, did he?
Well crafted, brackets, complete 80s throwback, close bracket, thriller. Hashtag 3-word reviewception, and that was
I
film
think you
number
need to say that again
54.
because Scott did speak over you the first bit,
So-
he needs his time with this one.
Hope you enjoyed my 3-word review. Finally found the perfect film for it. The Guest, well crafted, bracket, complete 80s throwback, bracket, thriller.
That is awesome. That is everything I wanted it to be.
Three-wordception.
And more. I need to think of more creative ways.
We promised him the picture as well. It won't be for this show because that's already gone, but next week
It's happening.
you will get something drawn for you from James.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, we were serious.
Yeah.
Even though I think we have delivered on every promise we've ever made, I always just go, "Oh, I thought you were joking." Every time.
That's because of his upbringing and he was
My mum was like, "Oh, you teased on it." I'm only joking. Wait another week.
get back in the box.
Back in the cellar. Curd my wheat. I don't know what about.
And lastly, he watched Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, Rebellion into War, 8 out of 10.
Did you manage to get a mark of where he is now? In
55.
55.
Ooh. So can we plot his trajectory? Can someone do the...
Yeah.
Well on his way.
I'll do it.
Can you do a projection map for me, Steve?
I'll do it for next time.
We're making stats for you now,
Yeah,
Pete.
Pete, I've set up an Excel spreadsheet and graphs and all sorts.
But we have other listeners.
We do indeed. Richard Lawrence at Bilal saw Kingsman, laughed out loud, 8 out of 10.
I've heard that from almost everyone. Because when I first saw the trailer moons ago, I thought it looked terrible. But it's just meant to be really just shameless fun, and that everyone's really enjoying.
Good
Long
things.
may it continue. I want to watch it.
And there's a sequel in the works already, so it's got to be doing well. Or not, as the case may be.
And you know what? I really like to see Colin Firth let his hair down. He's always doing these
It's always up
sensible
there,
things,
isn't it?
He's always there going, "Oh, I'm Oscaring again." And now he's going, "You know what? I'm going to have some fun with some scallywags." And he is. And it's good. So, there you are, Colin. Well done.
Good work. He saw Jupiter Ascending, love Channing Tatum, 5 out of 10.
Jupiter Ascending's got really...
That is literally the most positive review of it.
Right.
I've only heard really bad reviews for it. We got one last week, didn't we?
We did.
But,
I think it was Hollow Spy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But obviously, we should all make our own opinion up.
We should.
But I didn't fancy it anyway, so
No.
I'm in no rush.
It did look really like sci-fi I just steer clear of. Incidentally, I watched Serenity. Not that I steer clear of it, but
Yeah. What do you think?
It's very Joss Whedon.
I know it is.
It's very Joss Whedon
good
with the
though, isn't it?
ensemble like cast of people.
Yeah.
It's on the other. It's good.
You can see why I took a lot of heart from it to say the Avengers would be good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought there could have been more. I thought the villains were a bit meh, but I think overall it had a really good energy about it. It's quite basic, but great energy, and I could watch a TV series of that, which there was.
The thing to remember about that, though, is that's the cap off to a TV show. All these things were established, but you have to make it
Applicable.
so you can jump. So it does try and stay basic, and you know it's balancing a lot of plates, and it gets away with it all. Which is why I thought it'd be perfect for the Avengers.
Great sci-fi romp is my 3-word review. I think.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
I love it. I'm pleased to hear that.
Freya at Run Roller Run, God's Not Dead, Goddamn Offensive, 2.5 out of 10.
She
And then
had some
proceeded
trouble,
to
didn't
ask,
she?
does the scale start at 0 or 1? And there was a whole conversation. Where do we start?
I base on my scale why I don't allow points and things is the IMDb scale. That works out an average for you, but you can only vote 1 to 10. So I go on those rulings.
I mean, the basic filming something and putting it onto print surely gets you a mark. I don't know if you can have 0. Like, no, it's too hyperbolic, isn't it? Like, I reluctantly accept 2s and 3s if you had a visceral hatred for every single shot and frame and idea in there that you can't appreciate. Maybe. But they still crafted something. That's still worth a point or two.
I think a 1 has to be downright offensive.
It's got to be literally the most offensive thing you've ever seen for you personally in your life. I'm poor with it to be down there. And even then, you've got to admire basic
Somebody's gone out there
idea
and
that
done it.
someone's done it. Do you know what I mean? Like, nothing can be a 0.
Yeah. Okay.
I just that's my fault.
That's
if
it.
I'm joining in on that argument.
So would you put it as a 1 as the bottom?
Yeah, it's got to be a 1.
There you are, there's your
There we
answer.
go. Pip Mason at Housebroken Geek saw Kingsman, very awesomely stupid.
Yeah, well, that sounds
Yeah.
good to
Okay,
me.
brilliant.
That's what I want to watch.
Hollow Spy at Hollow Spy saw Shaun the Sheep the movie, good visual humour, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I expect as much, yeah.
And Robbie Polanco, superfan at Robbie_Polanco, saw the Disney Pixar film that's part of our competition and said loved it all.
If you
Hashtag
happen to
I want.
know what that is, do tweet us at I Want Stan and the name of the film, and you might win a little Stan Lee figure.
It's all right. Man of many names at Sparky Wright, the real Citrant this time. The lack of any Pokemon in any show improves it. Good stuff this week, lads. Hashtag gotta kill 'em all.
Oh, do you not like Pokemon?
Not many people do, I find.
I know,
What?
but you know,
It's
I
just
had
us.
fun.
I had
It was
fun.
fun.
We had fun. Yeah, we won't do it again until we get on to Generation 2.
Yeah, Pokemon.
Bex at Arbitrary Genius caved and decided to keep a list of all the films I've watched this year thanks to Weekly Geek Speak, although some will have been lost in January, but hey.
It gets worse and worse.
When
if
will
you let
she
me.
get to 365?
Yeah.
I reckon 2016. Left it too late.
Yeah.
Have to do it, yeah.
Or
missed
have
some.
you?
Arbitrary Genius and Popular Outcasts are now in a race. Come on. Let's make this happen.
That's not fair.
make
That's
this
like, me,
happen.
that's like me walking down to Tesco. All of the supermarkets
Yeah.
are just as good.
Yeah.
And going, Steve, I'll race you to Tesco.
Yeah.
I'm halfway there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's not halfway there, but it's unassailable. The amount
Stop
of hours.
pitting our listeners against each other.
Yeah,
I'm just
stop putting them together for your own amusement,
Mate.
like some sort of Roman emperor. Who are you?
Like Michael Bay smashing together toasters for Transformers. Fine. Brett Ewins of 2000 AD sadly passed away, and the Dread Start domain cover we put up at Bobkin69 responded, still got the original, love 2000 AD.
Those comics, I've still got a lot of the original ones with his art on, and it was sad to see him go. I'll be honest, he wasn't a name on the tip of my tongue all the time, but he was a guy who drew images that saw me through. I think my from about 11 till I was about 16, I loved them, and I was given a box of 2000 AD comics from the 80s, the late 70s, early 80s, and that was all his front covers. Like, there were other artists there as well, but they're just so like that and the dandy images of my comic youth.
Yeah.
And it's very sad because he wasn't very old either, about 59 I think, and he died. But such a great talent, but his legacy, as I put in that tweet, his legacy will live on in those amazing covers and that unique style that is 2000 AD for me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. We were discussing the other week Twinkies in movies, and you guys,
God,
you
there's
guys
loads
were
of these,
great.
isn't there?
But-
how did we miss some of these?
I know. Bex at Arbitrary Genius, Iron Giant.
I've not seen it.
I've never
I've
seen
not
them,
seen it
actually.
either, unfortunately. Freya at Run Roller Run, Wall-E and The Jerk, the Steve Martin film. From
She sent the clip of the Jerk one.
She did.
I'm trying to think of the Wally one.
I trust her judgment.
Pete Bushbaugh at Popular Outcast UHF, which is the
Weird Al Yankovic
Weird Al film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Good
I
shout.
didn't know it was in there. Yeah. Anthony Collett at Hey It's Ann. Not a great one, but I believe Jan is eating a Twinkie in Greece at Frenchie's house when they pierce Sandy's ears. That's an incredible shout.
Brusha, brusha, brusha. Is it that bit? That's one of my favourite Grease. Brusha, brusha, brusha.
And Roller Polar Bear at Polar 1980 Bear, in response to one of the tweets saying, "Here's our latest episode," said, "About to play this in Tron Car. It best be good, or I'll unleash hell."
I hope he
I will.
in a Tron car.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed if not.
We've not heard since, so hopefully hell hasn't been unleashed yet. But let us know what you
Well,
thought.
isn't he in some sort of digital world? Like,
He might be undermining us as we speak. He might delete the floor from us.
oh, like, what?
What?
I never got Tron. Well, I get it. I've not watched it.
The first one's really boring. That's all I remember as a child.
I like.
Controversial
Yeah.
opinions abound.
I like
know.
Megatron.
Ah.
Megatron's awesome.
We have been Weekly Geek Speak. Thank you for listening. If this has been your first show on Sheffield Live, thank you so much for listening. But thank you very much for listening. Please do contribute at weeklygeekspeak@gmail.com and follow us on Twitter at Weekly Geek Speak. Please do contribute. We'd love to hear from you. And remember, on the 3rd of March, which is Tuesday, we'll be having an old soiree in the Green Room on Devonshire Green. So if you are local to Sheffield and you fancy coming along on a Tuesday night to see Dolph Lundgren up on the big screen playing and have a few pints while watching Master of the Universe, please do come along. We'd love to see you. It's free entry. I believe free popcorn as well as being, and there might be some t-shirts as prizes, so there's a reason to come down. Thank you very much. And the last thing that we need to find out is it a moose?
Is it a mouse?
A hose pipe.
Yay!